Disclaimer. This podcast is for informational and educational purposes only and is not medical advice. Always consult with a qualified healthcare professional before starting or changing any supplement, peptide, medication, or nootropic. Individual responses vary, and nothing in this episode is meant to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Today we're diving into a topic that confuses a lot of people, especially anyone who's new to the world of biohacking, performance enhancement, anti-aging, or cognitive optimization. And that is the difference between peptides and nootropics. They get lumped together all the time. People use the words interchangeably. And if you scroll TikTok for 5 minutes, it can look like they're the exact same thing. But they are not. And understanding the difference will help you make better choices, avoid wasting money, and stay safer as you explore what works best for your body and your goals. So let's slow things down, take it step by step, and break this down in a way that's easy to understand, practical, and actually useful whether you're a beginner or someone who's already knee-deep in peptide stacks and brain-boosting supplements. First, let's start with peptides. Peptides are sequences of amino acids. Think of them as tiny versions of proteins. They occur naturally in your body. In fact, your body uses peptides every single day to signal, regulate, repair, or modulate some kind of biological function. Growth hormone-releasing peptides, healing peptides, anti-inflammatory peptides, metabolic peptides, mitochondrial peptides, and even cosmetic peptides all fall into this category. What makes peptides so interesting is that most of them work like little messengers. They communicate instructions. They signal your body to do something it already knows how to do. That's why people say peptides help your body act younger. They don't override biology. They support and amplify it. For example, BPC 157 tells your body to repair tissue faster. GHK copper tells your body to improve skin health and collagen. Semaglutide or other GLP-1-based peptides signal appetite regulation and metabolic control. Sermorelin signals the pituitary gland to release more growth hormone. MOS-C signals the mitochondria to adapt better to stress and improve energy production. Everything comes back to signaling. That's why peptides are often described as targeted, specific, and very system-focused. Now, let's shift to nootropics. Nootropics are compounds that enhance cognitive performance. That includes focus, memory, motivation, verbal fluency, mental clarity, creativity, and even mood. Nootropics can be natural, synthetic, or somewhere in between. Caffeine is a nootropic. L-theanine is a nootropic. Lion's mane is a nootropic. Modafinil is a nootropic. Phenylpiracetam is a nootropic. NAC is technically a nootropic. There are hundreds. Unlike peptides, which act through biological signaling pathways throughout the body, most nootropics work primarily in the brain. They influence neurotransmitters, blood flow, brain waves, synaptic plasticity, or the way neurons communicate with each other. A nootropic doesn't tell your body to regenerate tissue. It doesn't tell your gut to heal. It doesn't trigger HGH release. Instead, it enhances how your brain performs in real time. So, the easiest way to understand the difference between peptides and nootropics is this. Peptides tell the body what to do. Nootropics tell the brain how to function. Peptides affect biology. Nootropics affect neurochemistry. Peptides support long-term physiological change. Nootropics support short-term performance enhancement. Peptides can influence healing, hormones, inflammation, fat loss, muscle building, and longevity. Nootropics influence focus, memory, alertness, creativity, processing speed, and motivation. These two categories are completely different tools, but many people use them together because they complement each other beautifully. Now, let's get deeper into these differences and talk about what each one actually feels like in real life. Because people don't just want the science. They want to know what to expect. When someone starts peptides, the experience is often subtle but powerful. Healing feels accelerated. Recovery feels smoother. Skin looks better. Inflammation goes down. Mood and energy start to stabilize. Muscle growth comes easier. And over time, you feel more resilient. Peptides build changes from the inside out. It's delayed gratification, but it's meaningful, lasting, and foundational. They don't give you a quick jolt or instant rush. Instead, they reshape how your body functions. Now think about nootropics. These effects are usually noticeable the same day, sometimes within minutes. You might take a nootropic and suddenly your brain feels switched on. Colors feel brighter. Words flow easier. Tasks feel smoother. Distractions fade. Focus sharpens. Or you feel more motivated, more articulate, more mentally clear. But nootropics are not building long-term structural change in the same way peptides do. Their effects are performance-based, and they fade when the compound leaves your system. This is why the best biohackers combine the two. Peptides to optimize the body. Nootropics to optimize the brain. One builds your foundation. The other amplifies your output. Now, let's talk about how long things last. Peptides usually take days to weeks before you feel the full impact. But once it kicks in, the benefits tend to be steady and cumulative. It's like training your body to operate at a higher level. Some peptides even change gene expression, mitochondrial output, cellular repair pathways, or hormonal regulation. Nootropics, on the other hand, are almost always short-acting. A few hours, maybe a day at most. You feel them while they're active. When they wear off, they're gone. That's why people stack or cycle them based on their daily needs. Let's talk about safety. Peptides are generally considered low risk when sourced correctly and used properly. But they are still biologically active compounds and should always be taken seriously. Improper use can throw off hormones, overstimulate pathways, or cause unintended responses. This is why medical guidance matters. Nootropics vary dramatically in safety. Some are extremely gentle, like L-theanine or lion's mane. Some are in the middle, like rhodiola or alpha-GPC. And some are very strong and require medical supervision or at least a high level of responsibility, like modafinil, armodafinil, or racetams. With nootropics, more is not better, and stacking without understanding interactions can backfire quickly. Now, let's look at categories. Peptides tend to fall into predictable groups. Growth hormone-related peptides, healing peptides, metabolic peptides, immunomodulating peptides, mitochondrial peptides, cosmetic and skin peptides, longevity peptides. Everything fits into a physiological function. Nootropics also have categories, but they're based on mental performance. Stimulatory nootropics, adaptogenic nootropics, memory-enhancing nootropics, neuroprotective nootropics, mood-enhancing nootropics, creativity-enhancing nootropics, dopamine-dominant nootropics, serotonin-dominant nootropics, and so on. One is about body systems. One is about brain performance. Now, let's talk about dependency. Peptides rarely create dependency because they're not artificially stimulating pleasure pathways. They're signaling pathways your body already naturally uses. So you don't usually get rebound crashes or cravings. Some peptides require cycling to prevent downregulation, but not because of dependency. Nootropics vary. Some are completely non-habit-forming and even neuroprotective. But others, especially stimulatory ones, can create tolerance, dependence, or withdrawal if misused. Dopamine-based nootropics especially can feel addictive if taken too often. Let's talk goals. If your goal is healing, peptides win every time. If your goal is hormone support, peptides. If your goal is fat loss, peptides. If your goal is anti-aging, peptides. If your goal is collagen, peptides. If your goal is mitochondrial optimization, peptides. But if your goal is productivity, mental clarity, studying, verbal fluency, creativity, or high-performance tasks, then nootropics are the better tool. If your goal is to write, analyze, strategize, or focus intensely, then nootropics are the right choice. If your goal is to function mentally at a superior level for a specific window of time, then nootropics shine. So, which one is better? The answer is neither. They are different tools for different results. Peptides optimize long-term biology. Nootropics optimize short-term cognition. The best choice depends entirely on what you're trying to achieve. Let's talk about dosing experiences. Peptides are almost always extended protocols. Weeks or months. You don't feel them instantly. You feel them gradually, as your body rebuilds, repairs, and adapts. Nootropics are the opposite. You usually feel them the same day, but the effect goes away the same day too. Let's talk about regulation. Peptides usually require medical oversight. They're considered active biological compounds. They must be sourced responsibly. Nootropics range from over-the-counter supplements to prescription medications. Some are legal everywhere. Some are not. Some are tightly controlled. Some are sold on Amazon. It depends entirely on the compound. Let's talk lifestyle and daily use. Peptides are often part of a structured routine. You inject or apply them consistently to create long-term change. Nootropics can be used daily, occasionally, or situationally. Some people use them only for work days. Some use them before workouts. Some use them for studying or public speaking. Some only take them during high-stress weeks. And here's something important. Peptides and nootropics together can create synergy. For example, using a mitochondrial peptide like MOS-C with a clean dopamine-based nootropic can significantly enhance both physical and mental energy. Using a cognitive peptide like C-Link or C-Max with a choline-based nootropic can enhance clarity and reduce anxiety. Using BPC-157 during a period of high mental stress can reduce systemic inflammation while your nootropics help you handle cognitive load. These are two separate categories, but when you understand how they interact, you can build smarter, safer stacks. Now, let's talk misconceptions. A lot of people think peptides are stimulants. They're not. They do not give you an instant rush. They are slow-acting biological modulators. A lot of people think nootropics are the same as smart drugs. They're not. Smart drugs are a small subset of nootropics. Most nootropics are gentle, natural, and supportive. Another misconception is that peptides and nootropics replace each other. They don't. They complement each other. One is for your body. One is for your brain. One is long-term transformation. One is short-term enhancement. Before we wrap up, let's go over the biggest takeaway. Peptides change your biology. Nootropics change your neurochemistry. Peptides build the foundation. Nootropics elevate your performance. Peptides support long-term healing and longevity. Nootropics support immediate cognitive output. Peptides are slow, steady, and cumulative. Nootropics are fast, noticeable, and temporary. Now it's time for the next to last disclaimer. Nothing in this episode is medical advice. Always work with a qualified healthcare professional before starting peptides, nootropics, or any performance-enhancing compound. Individual experiences vary widely, and your medical history matters. Thanks for listening, keep learning, and stay curious.